What was that noise? Hey man, I can hear you breathing in my car. Can I help you?
Is this your car?
Yeah, it's mine. What's up?
Nice car, man.
Thanks, man. You drink?
Of course. Dude, nice place.
Well,
nice
welcome
place.
to the garage. Here you go.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh. Cheers. Cheers. Yeah.
All right, we're at John's house, as you can see. Thank you for making this time for us, me and Kiet and everybody else.
Not a problem, man. Welcome.
Yeah, it's always like a schedule with you, so we have to like, yo, when you're free, and it's like, it's great though. It gets me like, it teaches me a lot, like a lot of patience and stuff like that with people and stuff like that.
Man, once you have kids, or I have a kid, it's hard to
definitely
schedule
I
car stuff a whole lot, but we'll make it work somehow, some way.
I understand. Yeah, I understand where that's coming from too.
Oh,
I kept with like work and like kids. I'm like, can you watch the kids for me? What's up?
Yep, you gotta balance it.
Yeah,
gotta balance it.
Yeah. Talking about balance, how do you balance it? Like just you got your wife, your kids, and stuff like that, and like going out just like to shows like with the team and stuff.
It's my wife is the number one thing with that. Like when it comes to balance, first it's scheduling, right? I need to give her heads up and put the shows and stuff or the car meets or whatever on the calendar, just so she can work with that particular day or that particular weekend. And as long as she has enough heads up,
that's awesome.
We make it work. But on the flip side, I try not to do it too often.
Right.
I don't try and go to car shows like every single week.
Like
for
overdo it.
Summer. Summertime, there's car shows just about every single week.
Yeah.
Like I try not to keep doing it week after week after week, because at that point I'm just taking advantage of it. Right. And besides, my kid's still young.
Yeah.
As much as I want to bring him along at these car shows, he's still young.
I understand. Yeah.
It's just the logistics of it.
Yeah.
It's not like I can put him in my car and I can't even put a car seat on this thing.
Right.
So when he grows a little bit older and he can actually ride in the MR2, then I'll probably I'll probably end up going to a little bit more shows.
Right.
So both of us can have fun.
Yeah, I remember we were speaking a minute ago. I think Airport Expo. We were talking about family. We were there for like a good hour just talking about family stuff. It's so cool, man.
It really is.
Yeah.
When you find someone on kind of in the same boat, like with the family or family man, trying to be responsible as possible, as well as trying to juggle, your work and being in the car scene and all of that.
Right.
Once you find someone that's in the same boat as you when it comes to that, dude, you guys can talk for hours.
Yeah.
Because you guys will have a lot of like, oh, you do that too?
Yeah.
I do that too, like.
I was gonna ask you, because I think I don't know where I met you. I think I met you on, I knew it was a late car meet. There wasn't a lot of people there. I think it was like at the beginning of that new car meet. I think it was getting cold too. I don't know. I don't know. I know it was the summertime, but I was with a couple of guys that I know.
Right.
And I saw you were just there by yourself. And I was just like, but you knew the guys that I was,
oh, thank you.
Spider-Man.
Spidey sense. Spider-Man's interviewing me. That's good. Yeah, no, I can't remember exactly the first
It was
time I met you.
nighttime. It was nighttime, and I came up to you. You were checking the engine. I don't know why, but you had your what do you call that? The bonnet,
The engine lid.
Engine lid.
It was up.
It was up, and I was just like, "Yo, this is a sick MR2."
Right.
And you were just kindly like, "Yeah, dude. I'm like, "Are you here by yourself?" He was like,
"Yeah, man, I'm overheating."
Yeah. You were like in a corner by yourself, but it was like there was a car meet day, but nobody showed up, but a few people, but we were just still chilling there.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, like, yo, who is this guy, you know? And I was just like, dang. And I'm a big fan of MR2s. Big fan. Like, if it's like if somebody present me like, oh, here's an MR2 in a Honda, I'm taking the MR2. It's something about little cars that it's like, I don't know, like
you know.
Kids making Kiet drives a Mazda Miata, but I love Mazda Miatas too. But it was between those two cars, like, yo, what would be my favorite fun car? But I think both of them at the same time. Imagine like with like, let's say like 300 or 200 horsepower, 250. You know, you feel like you're flying.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you know what they say with small cars, small, you know. But I used to go to night meets a few years back, but it's just, you know, the past couple of years,
it's not the same.
It's pointless. You know, you go there, 5 minutes, 10 minutes later, it gets shut down.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if no one's acting a fool, but it's just like, the PD thinks it's just something's gonna happen no matter what. Right. And sometimes, like back then, you know, I would drive out like half an hour from home, go to like a night car meet. And imagine me doing that now. I drive half an hour and get there. Like, it's not even going on anymore because it's been shut down already.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
Yeah.
So I do a lot of, you know, cars and coffee.
Yeah.
It's like early in the morning on Saturday or Sunday, so the hood rat people are still sleeping. And the older guys like myself.
We're old now, so we're like we don't want to. Not super old, but we're like at the point that at the age like we did that. We don't want to do it anymore.
Done that, and we just want to chill. We just want to drive. We just want to hang out, cruise.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Cars and Coffee is pretty nice. I think the first time I went to Cars and Coffee, it was here. I never went to in New York. I used to live in New York City, so it was like so different.
Yeah.
In New York, I never been to. It was just like night racing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know Nice One. Shout out to them. I know a couple of the guys over there that work over there. Talking about racing and stuff like that. Like, when I was young, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Now I look at it, I'm like, let's take it to a track. I know track is money and stuff like that. And I know you get, you know, people have fun and stuff like that, but it's you know, it's a scary situation. You know?
It really is. You know, there's times when, even with my car, right? You know, when, let's say I go to Cars and Coffee sometimes and I'd step on it. And at a certain speed, like, I just try and think of, or not even try, but it just comes to my mind, dude, you got a family now. You cannot,
you can't be doing this crazy stuff, no, right?
Just the sad thought of, you know, having like a fatherless kid.
It hurts, yeah.
It really does. And dude, as soon as that comes into mind, like my foot is just like off the accelerator. Yeah. It's different. Like back then, before I had a kid, man, I don't care. I see a Prius up. Let's do it. You know?
Let's go.
What do you want? You know? But yeah, nowadays, when I see a Prius, I just follow it. Both of us are doing like 60 miles an hour.
Right.
Save gas, that streamline from coming from the Prius. Oh man, I like that.
That's
but
awesome.
it really is different, at least for me. After I had a kid, that's why it's it's a good balance. It's a good balance. I think life is really all about balance.
Yeah, balance everything.
Yep.
All right, big question. Because when I first met you, I know you had this car, but how long did you really had this car? Like, I think I met you like 2021, like after COVID. No, before COVID.
So that's about 2019.
Yeah.
So little backstory: I bought the car back in September 2014, right before my birthday. So
how old were you?
How old was I when I bought it? Dude, that was 10 years ago, in 2014. So I'm 22 now.
22?
So
oh wow,
I was 12. No, I'm 38 now. So yeah, I must have been 28.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I was 28 when I bought it. But the funny thing, well, not even the funny thing. The thing about this is my fourth MR2. I don't know if you knew.
I remember you were telling me. We spoke about it. Yeah.
So when I was in Cali, when I moved from Australia to Cali,
you were in Australia? Wow.
I used to live in Australia.
What?
Yeah, that's where I spent my high school years and college years.
So did you do like an exchange student or like?
No. So my dad has always been in California, and me and my mom, we were in the Philippines, and then we went to Australia, and then one point in time, my dad ended up living in Australia for a couple of years, and then they decided, why don't we go to California? Why don't we go to the U.S.?
Right.
I was on my teens then, so I had friends back home in Australia that I've been hanging out for years, right? I didn't want to leave them. I didn't want to go.
Right.
So I told my mom, you go ahead and I'll follow. A year later, mom was like, what's going on? You got to be here. And I'm like, fine. So when I got to California in 2007, my dad was driving he had a 93 MR2 non-turbo. It was white. And when I got to California, I was 20. In Australia, the legal age is 18. So once you turn 18 in Australia, you can do anything.
Oh, so drinking, everything,
drugs, what have you. And so when I got to California when I was 20, I couldn't even go to the bar and get a drink because you had to be 21. So I had to restart. Luckily, that was only for a couple months.
Right.
It was from June to September. Anyway, so yeah, my dad was driving a non-turbo white MR2. And I got my license in California. And then since I didn't have a car yet, my dad, lent me the MR2. So I was driving it to work. And I was like, yeah, I really like this car. It's a sporty look.
Sporty look, right.
It's a mid-engine car that I barely know about.
Yeah.
But I kept driving it on a daily. And I told my dad, I want one. So I want to say about 2-3 months, I ended up getting my own MR2. So his was a 93 non-turbo white. Mine was a 91 non-turbo black. So it was like a yin-yang thing going on in the garage.
That's sick. That's really sick.
I remember the days when, we would go to dinner sometimes, and my dad would have my mom on the MR2, and I would probably have like my cousin on my passenger seat, and me and my dad would just go at it. Like two non-turbo MR2s, just like 100 horsepower cars, just like going at it. It's like, oh, we reached 60 after 2 minutes.
That's sick.
So we did that for a while, and then it got to a point where my dad wasn't really using his MR2 anymore.
Yeah.
He just got busy with work and life in general. So he ended up selling that, and I ended up selling mine. to upgrade to a turbo MR2. It was also 91, but it was a turbo model, but it was yellow. It was like the brightest yellow that you can ever find.
So like
I think it's called a signal yellow.
signal. Oh my god.
It's bright. It's really bright.
Like a highlight yellow, a little, not super highlighty, but like a little bit yellow, more yellow than.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's pretty bright.
Yeah.
So I had that for, I want to say about a year or two, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended up going into another MR2, another 9991, and it was red this time. I ended up buying that because it had a better engine. It had a better turbo, better engine. The external, the body was in better shape. It was more a stockish look, but it had wheels, coilovers. The interior was pretty decent too and everything. It had like power windows coming from the yellow one with the crank windows.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of an upgrade, and I didn't even ended up putting a whole lot of money from the yellow one to buy that red one. And on that red one, that's when I started doing the stand stuff. We're talking, I don't know, maybe 2008, about there, 2008, 2009. So that's when I ended up putting like wide wheels in the front, wide wheels in the rear, pulling the fenders and everything, and doing all that. And then I ended up meeting my girlfriend then, now wife. This was back in 2009.
Whoa. So,
yeah, we've been together for way too long.
No way. That's awesome, bro.
So what
that
is it now? 15,
awesome.
15 too long years?
Really? No.
Don't tell her. Don't tell her.
He said he was 20. He's 22. He's
Yeah, I was 20. Yeah, I think I was 22 when we met.
Oh wow.
And then anyway, so when I moved from California to here, I was gonna go ahead and ship the car out, but at the time, I was kind of low on cash because it was.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because I had to restart basically.
Right. Transferring everything over.
Correct.
And like.
Yeah. So at the time, I think the cheapest freight that I found was $4,000 to get it shipped out, and the car is probably at the time, like we're talking about 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
You can get an MR2 turbo for like $6, $7, $8 grand. Now it's like crazy, stupid pricing, right? But back then, the offset of how much it is to ship it out and how much the car was worth, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
So I got a buddy of mine, his name is Kenny. He wanted the car, he wanted the MR2, so I ended up selling it to him. And then I ventured out. So I had the cash, right? I had the money, and I was thinking, what's next? I really wanted to get an E46 at the time, right? E46, particularly an M3. I just couldn't find one. On the East Coast, most of them are rusted out. And
all the snow and ice and salt. Yeah.
Right. And I think at the time, most of the ones that I was finding was up in like Jersey, New York, which is probably worse. So I had the money and couldn't really find the right E46 that I wanted. Then I found this. This was sitting in Alabama.
Just sitting or just?
Well, this used to be in Alabama. The previous owner, which was Scott. He used to live in Alabama. He was selling this through the forums.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you're aware of the forums.
Yeah, back in the days, it was.
It wasn't.
It was like
no Facebook.
No, nothing.
It's really just like Craigslist.
Yeah.
The forums.
Yeah, because Craigslist before you had was it like a link?
Correct. Yeah,
and it was
exactly.
Like, and then you press the link, and it will just transfer you over to whatever.
You guys would be emailing each other, right? It's not even like a private message. So Scott, the previous owner of this car, I saw it on the mr2 OC forums. That's the name of the forums, and he was trying to sell it for, I think like about $16,000 at the time. You know, it was nice. It was nice stock with somewhat of a built motor. It had like the engine bay, shave, tuck, and all that. And I was like, man, you know, my budget at the time was like 10 grand. That's how much I sold the car for in California. And then, so I hit up Scott. I'm like, hey man, like, is that your final price? And then at the time he was like, yeah, you know, that's how much I'm trying to sell it for. And I'm like, oh, cool. You know, I was just being honest. I can afford it. I can afford it right now. And then I want to say maybe 2 months after that initial conversation with Scott, I think I hit him back up because he ended up lowering the price bit by bit. And I think it got to a point, I don't know, I might be wrong, Scott, if you're watching this. I think it got to a point where it was around 12,000. I think that was the lowest point that he got. And I told him, hey man, I got 10,000 in cash. I can fly out there, pick up the car. You just let me know. It's a done deal. Because I've been eyeing the car for months now at this point.
Yeah.
And then, I can't remember exactly, but I think like after a couple of days, he was like, let's do it. So I told my wife, hey, I think I found my next car. It's, lo and behold, it's another MR2.
Did she knew or no?
It's red. No, well, she kind of had an, I think I might have told her that, hey, I want this car, but I just can't afford it right now. So yeah, when Scott agreed to 10K, I told my wife, hey, you know, I think I found my next car. We're flying out to Alabama. You know, let's go. She was like, you know, it was just me and her back then.
Yeah, no, spontaneous. You can do whatever.
Exactly.
You just go.
Exactly.
Right.
So me and her bought a one-way ticket to Alabama with just like one suitcase of our clothes, because we were only going to be there for like one night. Flew to Alabama, got the car, you know, did the paperwork and everything with Scott, and stayed the night. Then the following morning, drove all the way from Alabama to Virginia, which was, I don't know, 12, 13 hours in September. And it was hot and humid. And it did not have AC.
Oh my God.
That's when I found that my wife is a keeper. My girlfriend then, now wife, is a keeper. Because, man,
she would have been broken up by the time we came here, like, all right, I'm done.
Right. But she knew,
that's awesome.
She knew I love MR2s. She knew I liked the car. Me, man, it was, even though it was hot and humid, I was all smiles, you know what I mean? And mind you, on that drive, I think it did like something like 31 or 32 miles per gallon. It was all highway, Alabama going all the way back here.
Straight up.
Yeah. Right, but on an, I think at that time it was like 30 something years old already.
Right.
Doing like 30 something miles per gallon. I thought that was crazy. And once again, it had like it had the Gen 4 3H GTE, which is kind of like an upgraded version of the 3H GTE that came with the car originally. So it had a better turbo, faster spool. So I was giving it a go on the highway, and I was just loving it.
And it's 6-speed, right?
No, 5.
5-speed.
It's 5-speed. Yeah.
That's not bad. You see, that's not bad. Imagine
for a 5-speed.
For 5-speed, yeah. Because 5-speed, you'd be like $3,000. Is
Right.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. It's just, or the RPM is already crying.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good.
That's great.
Yeah. And then, so that was back in 2014. And, you know, since the car is red and my Stan's red car back in Cali, all I wanted to do was just to copy that same exact thing.
So pretty much a homage. To
right, exactly. Yeah. And that's what I tried to do exactly. And there was a point in time when a friend of mine, his name was Bruce, when I was in Cali with my red car in Cali, he had a set of white Meisters. This was years and years ago. He had a set of white Meisters. And he was so kind that he let me test fit him and let me borrow it, put him in the car, brought the wheels at home, put him in the car. And I'm like, man, I want these wheels. But with the red car in Cali, it never got it because I ended up selling it.
What wheels you had in Cali? But I'm sorry to cut you off, but
before I sold it, it had the work BSSS.
okay.
Yeah. Which was a nice wheel too, but I wanted the Meisters.
Yeah.
At that point, they were so expensive. They're still kind of are expensive.
They
now.
still are.
They still are. But when I fitted it, I didn't even drive on it. I just had it in the garage, took pictures, and I'm like, I want to make this happen. But again, I ended up selling the car, and it just never happened. So when I got this car, I didn't jump onto the Meisters right away because again, it's expensive. So I ended up with the first one that I put in this was the Kiwamis, and then the CR2Ps, and then I put the Meisters. So when I had the Meisters on this, I think I had it on Instagram, like a picture of my old MR2 with the Meisters and this one with the Meisters.
We'll put it up.
It's right here.
Yeah.
Here. Is it here? It's right here.
Somewhere in the middle.
It's here. It's here. Yeah. So, at that point, I was like, man, I've done it. It's awesome. For me, it was an accomplishment.
That's awesome. Sure. Oh yeah. Imagine just having your old car, new car looking like your old car.
Correct.
That's super special.
That was all my point because again, I love that car, my third MR2, and it's just didn't make sense for me to ship it out.
Yeah.
And the way it was set up with the stands, it's all lowered and everything.
Yeah.
I would need to get like a special car carrier,
right,
to transport it properly because of how low it is.
Yeah.
Even if I max out the coilovers, it's still gonna be too low.
Right.
So it's not worth the headache.
Another question I had: how did Harry came up to you, or was it like your uncle came by and said, "Hey, what do you mean emotion?"
Yeah, I hope Harry won't see this.
Oh, Harry's gonna definitely see.
Oh man. Anyway, I'm gonna spill it out. No, it kind of was a buy two get one free. And let me kind of.
You don't have to say the whole truth. You can just lie.
Yes. No. So I think Harry has had his eyes on the brothers.
Yeah.
And Amper for some time now, and at the time we were me, Amper, and we were already hanging out for a couple of years at that time, and we were in a different car team, but we knew of Emotion. They knew of Emotion for the longest time because they've been on the East Coast forever. I came from the West Coast, but when I came to the East Coast, I've heard of Emotion, and I know they're one of the elites, right? And at the time, me, and Amper, we were with a different team. We knew of Emotion, and I think it was a show in New York, New Jersey. It might have been Autocon. That's when Harry, Amper, and were talking about, hey, why don't you guys want to be with, just have be with the Emotion guys? And at the time, I think the brothers were thinking about it, this and that. And then it got to a point where okay, we'll talk to the previous team that we're about to go, and then they joined the Emotion. And I told them that wherever you guys go, I go. And that's when I say it's the buy two get one free. If I'm not, I don't know, Harry, you might know better. You probably do know better. But it was, I believe it was mainly the brothers that they wanted to get to emotion. I just happened to be like the adopted
the third wheel, like, oh yeah, come on. Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, you're buying too?
Yeah.
Free. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Is that other team still around? Do you know of? No,
not that I know of.
No.
At least not active anymore. They probably still do hang out here and there, but as far as shows, I do not see him anymore. No. The last time I saw him active might have been Import Expo in DC in 2018-ish.
Oh wow.
2017.
Oh wow.
So, been a while. But yeah, I've been hanging out with the brothers, particularly with my aunt, for some time now.
Cool.
At this point, I just don't have a choice anymore.
Didn't your aunt went to SEMA with you guys recently?
Yeah.
I saw
SEMA,
that. Yeah, I saw that clip.
Yeah, SEMA. It was fun, but it's
really How was SEMA? I know it was your first time.
It was my first time.
Okay.
Again, going back to, I used to live in California. Vegas is like what, 3-4 hour drive.
Yeah.
I've known of SEMA for some time now, but I've never been up until last month. Yeah, first time. So we all went. It's cool. Yeah. It's I don't know. I never like going to a show where my car isn't in there.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And I kind of thought SEMA would be the same. And it kind of was. Like, I put in.
You were, for the first time, you were a viewer.
A spectator.
Yeah.
Yeah, like full on. Like, yeah. But it was good. Yeah. I was able to see builds that are crazy and all that. Like a little bit of inspiration here and there. But I think SEMA is mainly for business owners.
Yes.
Because, like, for instance, right? He was having a blast because all these companies that he's affiliated with, like softwares and whatnot that he has in the shop, they're all there.
They're finally get to meet each other.
Right.
Like, hey.
Like instead of speaking on the phone, asking questions, they're all right there.
Yeah.
So for a business owner like it's worth it.
Yeah.
But for car enthusiasts, do I even call myself car enthusiast? I like cars, right? But I'm like, okay, that car looks nice. That car looks nice.
There's no what's next, right.
Yeah, I mean,
there's always a what's next, but like just looking.
The excitement wasn't really all there.
Yeah.
But then, again, going back to it, I think SEMA really is just mainly for business owners.
It was more support, Yeah.
See
how it was and just to experience it.
To see what's new.
Right.
Like, for me to see what's new, what's the new LED for my tail light.
Right.
It's not worth it for me.
Right.
But nevertheless, it was fun.
Yeah.
Fun times. It's a lot of walking.
Yeah.
But
it's a lot of walking.
It's a lot of walking.
A lot of drinking too.
Actually, I didn't drink at all in Vegas. Not even one sip.
No one sip. Nah.
Just water.
Yeah.
Lots of water.
No casino playing.
They had casinos in Vegas. I didn't even know. Like,
hey, last time I went, the first thing I did after I got to the gate and got out to that corner, the plane gets out, that bridge, it's like, what? Like, what's going on? This like full like casinos like right there. Once you get off the plane, you're like, okay. Dude, the way that hit me was so random.
Right.
Like it was just like, oh, okay, I'm getting off the plane, whatever. I turned the corner to that door. I was like,
at the airport.
Yeah, at the airport. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard there's a lot of casinos there. I don't know what else. That's it.
He plays the fifth, everyone.
Yeah.
He plays the fifth.
Anyway.
Yeah. Back to the next subject. That's pretty cool, though. Harry, you know.
Vegas is nice. That's it.
From my experience with SEMA, it was more working. I got to look and see. I watch a lot of YouTube, so
Right.
I try to keep up with everyone else to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Like in the market and what cars are getting made and who's who and whatever. It's for me, it's great to know like who's who, so that when you approach them, you already know who they are and what to talk about, or just to get that,
I like the influencers too.
Yeah.
I believe they're all there as well.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all the car people.
Yeah.
Instagram followers with
Yeah.
10, 15, 20 million.
Yeah. You're almost there. You're almost there.
Yeah. I just need
Pull this up right here.
10 million more. Follow me. It's here. Right here.
Did you try to reach out to like sponsors at least talk to somebody and be like, hey, I'm looking for this, blah, blah, blah. No.
Nah, nothing major.
No.
I mean, I have a couple of sponsors.
No.
Major one is my wallet. No, I'm kidding. Brothers Garage, obviously.
Right.
They help me out with a whole bunch of stuff. Not just parts, like just ideas sometimes. As easy as that. I also do work with TCS Motorsports, which is in Kentucky.
Okay.
They specialize in MR2s. The owner, Ty, dude, I speak with that guy just about every single time. Whenever I hear like a tick or whatnot that I don't know what it is, he's the main guy. Dress Up Bolts. They sponsored me with the bolts that I needed, make the engine bay look good, and all the other bolts.
They're pretty good guys, yeah.
That I wanted to change colors with. I think that's about it. Those are just about the major ones, and my wife once in a while sponsors me.
Gotcha. Any shout outs before we finish here?
Shout out some.
You can, once again, you already did sponsors, so
Yeah.
shout out to sponsors.
Shout out just to myself, really.
Yeah.
Without me, I won't be here.
They did a Snoop Dogg meme. I know that meme.
Without me, I won't be here.
I'm not. Yeah.
No, shout out, my parents, obviously.
Yeah.
Without them, I won't be here.
Yeah.
My wife for being understanding all the time. Again, I try and balance it as much as possible, but there's times when I kind of go a little bit overboard here and there.
Yeah.
But with her understanding, I thank her for
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
Friends and car friends. Kiet here.
Yeah.
Gus,
Helping me out.
obviously.
Yeah. Definitely. Always.
And all my other friends that helps me out like on the daily. Shout out to Hank. Hank has, at least for this year, has been helping me out with towing the car to shows. Team Emotion, obviously, for making me a part of the team, representing for shows and whatnot. And who else can I think of? You guys know who you are. If you lent a hand on me, I truly appreciate it. That's all I can say. I can't name them all, obviously, but
Wait, pull out the list.
I'll do it. Yeah. If I had it on the list, man, it's gonna be like a CVS receipt.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the end, you got my back, I got your back.
Yeah.
That's how I roll.
Yeah.
If you lend like a hand to me, I'll just try and pay you back somehow.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's how it should be.
Yeah, I mean, just do your best.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I think it is for me.
Heck yeah. Awesome. Well, people, we're here with John. This is his mini garage. This beautiful car.
Thank you.
And that's pretty much it.
Follow me here.
Yeah, follow John.
It's J0HNE somewhere here. And then follow him, which is Gus something.
gus.r.photos. No, I'm kidding. We'll put it here. You'll see it. And follow Kiet. Kiet is behind the cameras, doing all the thing, make sure everything is good.
May or may not have clothes. So.
Yeah, he's literally naked, freezing, just stripping out here.
Yep, there you go.
All right, goodbye, guys.
Bye. Peace out.